Hey there, and welcome to the Do Life Big podcast. This podcast is going to be your jam if you want to live to your full potential and don't believe in half-assing anything in your life. If we want to do life big, that means we've got to get out of our own way because we only have this one shot to make it awesome. I'm your host, Kathy, and I'm a mom of three whose BFF is cold brew, a retired school teacher turned online entrepreneur, and an author. I'm loud, bold, and will always keep it real. I'm determined to live my best freaking life possible, and I'm here to help you do the same. I'll be packing this podcast with tips, motivation, inspiration, and strategies to finally get you where you want to go. And we will have a ton of laughter along the way because, let's be honest, we can't ever take ourselves too seriously, right? I'm so excited you are here with me today. Now let's get this party started. Hey, my friend, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of Do Life Big. Holy moly, what a whirlwind of a past 2 weeks has it been over here in Florida. Apologize for this episode going out a couple of days late here, but we had Hurricane Milton come through last week, and we're in a flood zone A in a mandatory evacuation area. And so we had to, very last minute, pack up everything in the house, get all the kids, get the dog, get the hedgehog, and pile into our car. And we drove all the way across the state. We're just off of Anna Maria Island on the west coast in Northwest Bradenton. And we had to drive all the way across the state to Fort Lauderdale, where we rented an Airbnb with our best friends. And we all kind of hunkered down there. But let me tell you, it was insane because not even 10 days prior to that hurricane, we had just had Hurricane Helene come through and cause, I'm talking like major devastation to Anna Maria Island and to so many of our friends and their homes on the island, their businesses. I mean, some people literally lost everything. And we were literally just in the middle of that entire island starting to get to clean up a little bit. And next thing you know, we heard about Hurricane Milton coming. And the way that they predicted with that hurricane was that there was going to be a 10 to 15 foot storm surge, which would have been really bad for us because our garage is at 8 feet above sea level and our main floor is at 10.2 feet above sea level. And so they were really insisting on this was going to happen. And so when we left, we were like, I mean, are we going to come home to a completely flooded home? So, I mean, we had to put everything up super high. We put all of our most important things in bins, like 6 or 7 different bins. We brought them over to a friend's house at a higher elevation. And we just left not really knowing what was going to happen. And then very last minute, the hurricane kind of shifted a teeny bit. And we went from having, a possible 10 to 15 foot storm surge to a reverse storm surge, which saved us big time. It literally just pulled all the water back out and we didn't have a storm surge at all. So we just had crazy intense, like 120 mile per hour winds over here. So we spent the week in Fort Lauderdale at that Airbnb with our best friends, and we came back home, and I mean, it could have been so much worse. Our entire neighborhood was completely trashed. We have so many large grown oak trees throughout the whole entire neighborhood, and so many of them were down. One of them fell down in the front of our yard, luckily fell away from the house and fell into the street. We had some shingles missing. We had about 15 or 16 pool screens on our pool cage missing, and just tons of debris everywhere. It is a disaster. It literally looks like a war zone out there, but we were so lucky because it could have been so much worse. Like, we went from thinking that our whole home was going to have like 3 to 5 feet of water in it to our home was really basically completely fine. So we got very, very lucky, very fortunate in that area. Needless to say, we came back home, there was no internet, there was no power or anything like that. We have a whole house generator and it never kicked on because the high winds were so strong that it knocked a bunch of trees and rocks. And I don't know what else happened, but somehow it broke the generator. So that never turned on. So with all that going on, I wasn't able to get this podcast out to you So I appreciate your patience, but we're just in the process now of continuing to clean up. And I wanted to get you this really quick and awesome, useful episode to you, all about how to have faster momentum in your business, specifically if you are newer to business and you're just starting out, or maybe you've kind of been dabbling in business for a while and now you're really ready to go all in instead of just testing the waters. And the first thing I want to talk about is your level of excitement. You know, people are attracted to energy and excitement, period. It doesn't even matter how much money you're earning, if you're earning any income. It doesn't even matter what the heck you're selling. Doesn't matter what you're trying to promote. Doesn't matter what your product is. People are drawn to and attracted to energy and excitement. And so when you think about what you are promoting, when you think about what you stand for, when you think about your business, just take a step back and ask yourself, do I come at this from a place of pure excitement and pure energy? Because if you do, then people will be drawn to you and they're going to want to be a part of it. And they're going to want to try your products, or they're going to want to buy your programs, or they're going to want to hire you as their mentor, or whatever it is, whatever business that you're in. The more excitement that you can show, the better. But if you're kind of like tiptoeing around and you're letting your insecurities get the best of you, and you're in your head and you're self-sabotaging yourself, and you're thinking like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing, or I feel like I'm going to be pestering people or whatnot, they're going to feel that vibe and they're going to feel that energy, and they're going to know that something is off, and then they're not going to trust you. And so just take a step back, and before you talk to anyone, before you do any kind of advertising, before you get on any phone calls, make sure that you're talking from a place of pure excitement. I remember when I first started my very first business over 11 years ago, my health and wellness business, and I was 40 pounds overweight, and I didn't know a damn thing about business. I didn't even have an Instagram account at the time. I literally didn't know what the heck was going on. And I had everything going against me. Like on paper, if you had looked at all the reasons of why that wouldn't have worked out for me, you would have been like, are you nuts? Why are you even trying this? Right? But you know what? Even though I was promoting a health and wellness business, I was 40 to 50 pounds overweight, I was so excited. I was so excited that I was a part of something where I could get healthy and fit again from home. I was so excited that I found a way to earn income from home during part-time hours while raising my babies. I was so excited that I could do both. And guess what? Even though I didn't look like a fitness superstar with my six-pack abs or anything like that and was 40 pounds overweight, I was able to inspire and impact so many people. So many people wanted to come on board and join me in that journey. And it was because of my excitement, and it was because of my energy, which is going to lead me into the next tip, which is having a confidence in where you're going and a knowing that it's going to work out even better than you could have imagined. I had no experience with business. I knew nothing. I had my teaching certification and my teaching degree and a special education master's degree, but I knew nothing about business. But what I did know was that I had this unwavering faith and confidence in where I was going to take that business. And it stemmed from that excitement, which I just talked about. When you have that excitement and you're talking to people with that excitement, more and more people are drawn to you and they want to do what you're doing, which then builds your confidence, right? And people want to be around other confident people, especially if you are in business, right? Think about like if you were going to join a business or you were going to follow another entrepreneur who was successful, right? You would follow the one who was really confident in what they were doing, really confident in the direction that they were taking their company, really confident in what they were standing for. And then you'd want to follow that person. And so that level of confidence, it's that unwavering faith that this is going to work out even better than I could have ever imagined. And what most people do, and you can't help it, it's not your fault. It's because our brains are just wired this way. Our brains are just wired to look for the negative and to look for all the reasons of why things aren't going to work out for us and why we shouldn't do things and why we shouldn't make a change or, get uncomfortable doing something new. But if you can challenge that and you can flip the script and instead of focusing on all the reasons why it won't work out for you, if you can instead focus on, but what if it does work out for me? Why can't this be me? Why can't I be the next successful person? What if this does work out for me? How could this really help my family if it did work out? What would that look like? And if you can focus on that, you'll be inspired to continue to keep showing up every day for your business versus getting inconsistent and throwing in the towel. That's a big one. When I started my very first business 11 years ago, I had everything going against me, like I said. And it would have been really easy. It could have been really easy for me to focus on, I'm overweight. What am I even doing in a health and wellness business? I don't know anything about social media. How am I supposed to build this business on social media? I have all these skeptics. They don't believe in this. They think it's a joke. They think I'm going to be wasting my time. I don't even know if I have the time to build this business because I'm home raising my babies. And I could have focused on all of those things and I could have used those as excuses to just not even bother. Don't even give it a shot. But instead, I didn't even look at that. I didn't even focus on that. And I looked at the future and I saw other people succeeding. And anytime that you see other people succeeding in an area, that's more proof that you can do it too. And so I'm challenging you to flip the script and focus on that. Have that confidence that it's going to work out. Have that confidence in where you're going, where you're going to take your company. Think and focus on the positives. I'm not saying to be naive that negative things aren't going to happen, that you're not going to have roadblocks. Of course you are. We all do. Every business has ups and downs, but we're going to stay focused on moving forward one step at a time. The third tip I want to give you is to just be okay taking messy action. Be okay taking action, even though you're really unsure of maybe what the next step is. And adopt an attitude of learn as you go. Because far too many people get really wrapped up in their perfectionism mode. They get really wrapped up in, well, I have to, have this amount of money in the bank in order to do this. I should be earning this amount of money by now. I can't really do this until I have this amount of money. Then I'll be successful. Let me just figure out everything I need to do first and get it all squared away before I take action. And that's just not the way that entrepreneurship works. Entrepreneurs figure it out as they go. They're okay taking action, even if it's messy. They're okay making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. And they have an attitude of, we're going to learn as we go. And I go all the way back to my very first business that I started 11 years ago. I saw so many people not even bother starting because they were just so wrapped up in, I need to know everything in order for me to take action. But the longer that you stay stuck, the longer that you take this lack of action, the harder and harder it's going to be for you to actually take action, because then you're in your head even longer than you need to be. And you're talking yourself out of it versus just doing it. And the sooner that you can get out there and start doing that next best thing that you need to do for your business, the sooner that you can learn from that, grow from that, and become better at what you're doing. And then when you take that next action, it's not as scary. It's not as hard. It's like effortless. You just do it. And so be okay taking messy action. Be intentional. Be inspired. It's inspired action that's going to grow your business, right? Not just, we're going to go through the motions here and check it off the list just to say we did it. It really is being okay taking that messy action and making sure that you're inspired at the same exact time. And all of that stems from having that excitement, having the confidence in the direction that you're going and where you're taking your business, taking that messy action and have it backed by inspired action. And the last tip that I wanted to give you is to just be you. The only way that your business is going to grow to the level that you want it to grow to is if you do it your way, because no one is going to do the business the same way that you do it. And that's why it's special. And that's why you're unique, because it's you and your way. And so don't be so consumed and wrapped up with how everybody else is doing it, even if it's a very similar business. It doesn't matter. There's plenty of room for everyone to grow and succeed in whatever business that you're in right now. But the worst thing that you can do is try to be like somebody else. The worst thing that you can do that's going to slow your growth is to try to do it just like somebody else, to try to sound just like somebody else, to try to look, talk, act just like somebody else, because it's inauthentic. And what people want now more than ever before is they just want real. They just want the real you, the real deal, not the filtered, flawless version, the fake, BS version. They want the real version of you in your own authentic way, however that is. So don't overthink what you're doing. Always come from and speak from the heart. Listen to your gut instinct and be yourself. And when you do, you will find that more and more people will want what you have to offer because they're going to be able to trust you more. They're going to have so much more trust in you, and they're going to have belief in you, and they're going to be drawn to you because you're just being real and you're being authentic. And the world needs a heck of a lot more of that. So I hope that today's episode helped you out. Again, these are my 4 tips to have faster success in your business that you may have been overlooking. The first one is to have that excitement in your business. People are drawn to that. The second one is to have confidence that it will all work out, confidence knowing where you're taking your business and where you're going. The third one is to take messy action and adopt an attitude of learn as you go. And then the fourth one is to be you, just be authentic, because people want that. People are attracted to that. So I hope that today's episode helped you out. If you enjoyed it, tag me on Instagram at Catherine Reuter, or you could do Life Big podcast. And I will see you the next time. Thanks so much for being here. You know I love you. I think you're awesome. See you later. Thanks so much for listening in. I really appreciate you choosing to spend your time here with me today. You totally rock. Hey, listen, if you loved today's episode, go ahead and tag me on social and go share this with a friend right now. Do it immediately before the day gets ahead of you and you totally forget. Couldn't be more pumped to be on this journey with you guys. Go make today awesome, and I will see you the next time.